on the first day of my vacation, they turned the lights out. I sat there in the dark and prayed for death. I wrote a song. I thought it was stupid, even though I know not all of them can be the best. I read with a flashlight for several hours, waiting for the electrician dude to come and fix the breaker for love to save me. But that was not the message that got through. No, death is the only thing that makes this interesting. You know in your heart that you'd get bored. Death is the only thing that makes this interesting. Why in hell on earth would you want more? Well, after several hours of this, I became discouraged, but determined to make something of the day. I went to the open mic to get some rage out and play my song, but I got number 58. And I became acceptance. I sat there unmoving, watching all my friends get on the stage to sing their asses off, to try and reach me, but I didn't have my anthem till I heard Tim Warner say, death is the only thing that keeps this interesting. Why in hell on earth would you want more? Death is the only thing that keeps this interesting. You know in your heart that you'd get bored. Dad! 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 Give me Dad! Dad! Give me Dad! Give me Dad! 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 Well, I took my piranha, antagonized it, and smeared its shit around where I knew you would see. I meditated, but kept getting distracted about how wonderful it was to be me. 'Cause I have found the way out. I have found the way out. I have come to shake hands and make fools of the fools. Everything you've heard, my dear, is true. True. Death is the only thing that keeps this interesting. Why in hell on earth would you want more? Death is the only thing that keeps this interesting. You know in your heart that you get bored. So give me death.
That is right. Give it up one
Stick around
time
listening, everybody.
for Mr. Joe Yoga. Give it up for Joe Yoga. Hey, thank you so much. Hey, what's up, everybody? How are we? Yeah, I got my OG jersey. I'm repping that, you know. Yeah, sorry, I only really wore the jersey just so there would be times that I could. Because last week, it was mentioned in the chat and so forth that, yeah, New York has to be one of the audios. So done. And then let's see. I also added what did we go over? True Romance with Drexel, right? So we definitely the more and more, because we had I believe 2 Australians in last week, California and so forth as well, Florida, I believe as well. So I mean, basically, hopefully this live stream will become,
We got everything here from a little odd Joe to damn near I know.
And speaking of that, one thing that I think is really hip, and it is kind of a bummer they've somewhat dissipated a little bit, but dude, loved having the foreigners here. There were a lot of them that stopped into Austin because of the World Cup that was happening in Dallas and so forth. And like, man, it just definitely made me miss, just having like different cultures here and whatever else. It's I don't know, in their energy, they were just having a good time, dude. They were just having a good time. And a nice reminder of, like, I don't know, at times, what I believe anyway, I can only speak for myself, how much at times, not at times, just how much I take for granted that, not only do I have, like, physically and so forth, but like just being in this country and being able to do the things that I've done, the good and the bad. It's like you can only do them here in a way. It's just really dope, and they really had a good time. There was a few of them at the mic at Shakespeare's the last couple weeks or so. And it's just great, dude. It's just absolutely great to have people around. I'm just kind of fucking around with things right now. I'll address the elephant in the room. I don't normally I haven't gone on this early in a while. Usually I go on in like an hour from now and so forth. But I don't know, I decided to just make it kind of an early night when it comes to comedy. And I don't know, just wanted to be here now. So thank you for everybody who is here, the other people that are going to be here, and the people that watched during the video. Oh yeah, I also did this. This is new to me, so forgive me. Some of the sound effects and so forth, that's new, okay? So I'm not necessarily used to like having these things around, but it definitely, I don't know, it makes me laugh, and I think that kind of goes through, I don't know, whatever it is, the screen, the phone, the TV, the computer, the tablet, whatever you're enjoying this on. But also, let me get to this quick. Also put it on the big screen, right? Also, I've added this.
Amazing.
I didn't mean to do that, but I've added this. Phone lines are open, and honestly, dude, they're open. They're pretty much open 24/7. It's just that during the live stream is when I answer them. The rest of them go to voicemail, and I imagine I would play the voicemails on the live stream, whatever they may be, whenever that moment happens. I don't know, it's going to be dope. So they're always open in a way. The lines are always open. Again, I'll put it on the big screen if you can't see the number there. It's in the description, 646 504-0508. I'm just thinking about the first time I actually get a call. How is it going to be? How I'm going to react? It's going to be funny. Or maybe not. I don't know. I just don't necessarily know. Yeah, I've called myself in a way, call from my phone, so I know how that is, but the timing of it and so forth, it's going to be fun. Reminds me of some kind of gimmick comedy shows that they have where they kind of throw a wrench into what you do just to see the reaction, and the crowd usually has a good time with it. Oh, we can just go to this. Oh, let me do this as well. Sorry. Getting used to the extra things. You wouldn't think it would be that difficult, but one, I will say, I kind of think I'm a creature of habit. That's why, what is it now? I think I'm now 3 for 5 when it comes to actually hitting the laptop button instead of what you're seeing now. Last week it was just a debacle. I've had things in new places, but now I pretty much feel I got a good handle on things. A good finger on things. Man, what else, dude? I don't know. The thing is, what is it? I host the open mic for half of it after Kill Tony. That's in Shakespeare's, the place where, I don't know, the comics put their names in the bucket, whatever else, and then afterwards there's a mic. It's been running till like 1:30 or so. How do I say this? I didn't think I would. I absolutely love it. I absolutely love doing it. It's I don't know. It's something I miss about New York. There's chaos. There's chaos. You know, I've seen, I don't know, whatever. I've seen comics here have good sets, and you could tell they got structure. They usually define themselves, you know, definitely within the first minute, all of that. But it's like kind of like certain variables, right? And if the variables are on board, then it's usually like a really good set. But if one thing's altered a little bit, I've noticed a couple variables are off. It's just not the same. And, you know, probably the only reason I see it is because I'm just aware of it in myself. You know, kind of, you know, go up with the same energy that you would with a packed room that you would with 6 people. You know, I don't know. It's just it is sometimes difficult, you know. But what I like about that mic is bringing up the energy in between each comic, making sure you include everybody, you know, bartender, whatever else. There's a DJ in the booth that plays tunes as people come up and so forth, kind of has some sound effects and stuff. It's been fun. DJ Chen is usually over there. And I just have a blast. I don't take any of it seriously. And it seems like a lot of people do. It's, in case you don't know, it's called People of the Man. It's just the reverse of Tony's special, but in a way, I feel a truth. You know, I've been saying lately, you know, this open mic is sponsored by Kill Tony, because in a way, these people are here because of Kill Tony. So, the People of the Man, and sometimes it's fucking accurate description, and then other times it's inaccurate description. It's great. It's great. And it's a lot of fun. And, you know, none of it matters. It's important to me. It might be important to a couple other people out there, but that's about it. You know, I can't imagine I'm going to truly bring the world together. I shouldn't have worn white, but you know what? I don't know. I just love this jersey. So, and it's got the final stuff, whatever. I'm really happy with it. But I love it too much, and I got to host the whole fucking thing, from like 10:30 to, I don't know. How do I say it? Not how do I say this, but just say it, stupid. It's been great. It's been working a lot of muscles, comedic stuff, and at the end, with whatever people that are left, and there has been now, like there's like a few regulars. Dude named Boo, Mike, girl named Lisa, tend to be there every week now. And, you know, there's other people kind of straggling. It's interesting, especially as the night goes on a Monday night, and you kind of see the people, you know, some of them completely tanked, whatever else, and then some of them just aren't, just curiosity. It's really fascinating. And then I end up, you know, do the mic, whatever, and then I just kind of close out until people leave, in a sense, kind of try to do a Kinnison spot that, you know, in case you don't know, Sam Kinnison would have the last spot at the Comedy Store, and basically he would just go on till everybody left, till they had to go. And that was, I think, like a tradition. I don't know actually all the people that have done it, but anyway, that's what I kind of do with the mic at the end of it. It's fucking great. It's just wonderful. It's just wonderful. And quite frankly, Yeah, if I don't get better just by it being able to contribute, right, to the scene instead of, just kind of being on the outside looking in a way. This the kind of reps at this place, and I'm not getting cocky, there's nothing to celebrate, but I'm just very surprised. How do I say it? A few comics have been telling me as well, it just fits. Something about that place. Maybe it's something about that night. Maybe maybe I would suck on fucking Wednesday, right? I don't know, but it does fit. And as the night gets later, it just seems to fit more and more. I absolutely love it. I'm shocked and amazed, and I absolutely love it. I embrace it, and it seems like the feedback's positive in a way where, people feel like they can actually work out. It doesn't matter, let's say there's whatever, a huge number of people or there's not. They seem to be locked into what, each person's doing on stage, regardless of what it is. It is, it's really fun in the beginning, because I never got to necessarily start the whole mic. So, there's some people there. Of course, there's comics as well. But I just kind of prefaced with everything like, okay, this is very exciting. This is People of the Man, the open mic sponsored by Kill Tony. Tonight, it's going to be an amazing night. You don't know what you're going to see. You could see some big book winners, some little book winners, gel blaster receivers, or you might just see some absolute schizos that are just coming off the street, putting their name on a list so they can just enjoy some air conditioning. You don't know, so strap in. And I think just kind of that, doing it every kind of like 5, 8 comics. As a reminder, there's people that trickle in and out, whatever. It's, I don't know. It sets like a great tone. It's fascinating. It's just fascinating. Oh, boy. We got something here in the chat. Can the dummy press the right button? Here we go. All right, let's go to the chat. Oh, hey, there he is. Daniel Silva. 3 weeks in a row. Very exciting. We got something else that came in real time. Yep, there it is, buddy. He knows.
Amazing.
Also, said I was going to do it. So it's dope. That's why I wore the jersey. Next week I probably won't hit it as much. But anyway, regardless, thank you, buddy. Oops, wrong button. Thank you very much for being here, though. Appreciate it. Just talking about the open mic at Shakespeare's. I got to do the whole thing, host the whole thing, and just prefacing with, what it's going to be. And it's great because you kind of never know, I don't know. It's just great. There were people that stayed like the whole fucking time that didn't even go up. It's a good sign. It's a good, I don't know. It's just a good match. It's a fucking, I don't know. I don't think I could have done this 6 months ago, a year ago. Like I would have done it, but it wouldn't have been, I don't want to say a good time. But what I mean is it'd be nice to have a workout room instead of just like an open mic. In my personal opinion, right? This is just my opinion. I kind of feel a little bit like this place is a merry-go-round. Like Mondays you go here, you do this, right? Tuesdays you go here, you do this. Wednesday you go, but there kind of isn't necessarily dangling carrot. Like, okay, to be a doorman at the mothership, door purge, whatever, right? Okay, to be on rotation at the mothership. I guess that's the overall thing, but it's kind of like there isn't what do you call it? Like in baseball, like minor leagues, like a triple A, double A, boom, 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 majors. So sometimes it just kind of feels like a merry-go-round, and then maybe sometimes you kind of, and then you don't. But again, it's not really that. It's accumulation of things and so forth, and also, working on your shit. There isn't really luck. It's just being prepared at any time for any situation. That's really what luck is. If people say like, dude, he was at the right place at the right time. Yeah, but he also worked well enough to be in that moment, and I don't think that gets credit enough. you know. Yeah, someone, I don't know, there was some tension and so forth at the mic between two comics, which whatever. But just going up after being like, what are you guys doing? You fucking flexing your comedy cocks at a 4-minute open mic at Shakespeare's? Like, what are we doing? At least get a 20-minute set or something, for Christ's sakes. It's fucking hilarious. It's just, you know, and just to say that, where it's like, what are you doing? Why is there, you know, this used to be fun, you know? People used to come up here with ideas and whether to mock or to see the irony and the hypocrisy in the ideas instead of just like words or subjects, if that makes any sense, you know, like beyond a premise. It's kind of, to me, there's like an idea. What's the purpose for what you're saying in a way? That's just, you know, that's some of my opinion. But then again, you know, what have I really done in all of this, you know? Comedy most of the time has just been like,
nobody wants you here. Nobody.
but you know what I learned the whole time? That was me. And not really comedy, you know. Hey, by the way, it's Daniel. What do you think? Earlier time? You think like an hour earlier is better? Or do you think it's better fucking an hour from, well, now, like 40 minutes from now? I'd love to hear your feedback. And then also, phone lines are open. And there is going to be a moment when it rings. And it's probably going to shock me. I'm not going to know what to do, and then probably accidentally hang up and then never get that caller again because they're going to take it personal, even though it was just my mistake, because at times it's something we do. And and then I'm going to get it on subscription and whatever else, and it'll just, woo! You never know. Let's go to the chat. What do we got here? The comedy hierarchy doesn't start with working the door of the Comedy Store in L.A., then unpaid. Yeah. Unpaid regular. There has gatekeepers if you push out quality shit. Well, let's see here. I'm good with anything. Okay, very good. Okay, very good. That's good to know. Let's see here. I just, I don't know. I think there's such a freedom now that there never really was, and that freedom's been around for a while. You know, like a decade or so, really. But you know, something like this, where something like this could get an audience at some point, accumulation, consistency, actually putting out something with some value, and so forth. That can, and then just at the end of the day, being undeniably funny. Like, if I may share a story, Tuesday night, you know, I get a spot at Shakespeare's. And it's like, you know, it really is interesting how much of it is mental, you know, like kind of like in sports. I think Tyson might have said it, or Customato, where, was it, boxing's like 90% mental, 10% physical in a way. And, yeah, Tuesday, it was just, I don't know, it was weird, odd, peculiar. The energy, there was something. Granted, there was, in the beginning, there was 3 girls in the front, I don't know, early 20s, mid 20s maybe. But like the drunk and just kind of like, I don't know, just, it's not really obnoxious as much as it's just like an annoyance with just their stupidity, on top of not necessarily being in the moment. Like, there was one girl who copied everything I said at a point, which, you know, I was like, great, that's what a 12-year-old does. But, you know, they're sitting there on their phones, literally sitting in the front, just being on their phones, kind of doing everything somewhat non-verbally because, I don't know, that's whatever. It's something you can fucking notice. Granted, there's a light, you see silhouettes, but it's just, fuck you. So they did it through 3 comics, which that kind of made energy weird, but still, but the consistency, you know, to be like, all right, that energy in a way doesn't matter. Can I be undeniably funny? They did shotgun hosting, which is where the first comic goes up, does time, then introduces the second comic, then introduces, right? I'm not a fan of it. It's very California, very LA. I do think hosting is a skill. I think it's necessary. I think it's good to kind of, you know, like if the energy's going good, you still have someone to come up and go, all right, let's keep that energy going. We're going to bring up your next comic. Boom. But there's also, like, no matter what, there's like a cleaning of the palette. And I do kind of think that's necessary at times. Not at times, I think on every show. Not everyone knows necessarily. I don't mean this like I know anything. Okay? I host Shakespeare's, that's what I know, right? I kind of look at hosting as like if you have a cake party and you're the guy next to the cake. Like, I'll put it like this. I've always thought of it. You know, I was in a fraternity in college, whatever. So when you have the rushes, right, for the pledges, you just got a bunch of dudes coming for the free beer. And then hopefully you meet some people that are kind of cool, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I'd be a guy next to the keg. And then it's just like people come in. And it's like, okay, hey, what's your name, internet, whatever else, where you from, doing that shit. And then it's like, oh, hey, you're from Detroit. Yeah, dude, we got a couple brothers from Detroit. Hey, blah, blah, blah. You would love this guy. You kind of introduce the brother, whatever else. That's maybe if there's, you know, 2 or 3 from the area, but you give them like an introduction and so forth, and boom. That's what I kind of equate hosting to be. You know, you're inviting people over, right? None of them have to be there. You know, none of them. You know, especially nowadays. Like, again, those girls can be there, but they're not present, right? So the fact, again, time. You don't get receipts on time. So the fact that people are willing to sit there, and the fact that you have a microphone that amplifies your voice to project, to hopefully give a gift of laughter that they may never receive because in their world, they don't get those kind of gifts. Does that make sense? I'm probably just fucking rambling on for no reason. But I really think, I don't know, I believe there's value in hosting. And I don't think it should be a lost art. And I think in also a room that tends to be chaos, you know? And I don't mean it in a bad way. I mean, sometimes there's just a dog that runs around for no reason. But it's just like, okay, ladies and gentlemen, you ready for your next comedian? You know, it's just what it is. I just think, again, it's good to kind of reset the room. Internet, even if it's every 4 minutes, every 10 minutes, whatever it is, it's just good, you know? And, yeah, I think it's good to go around the room and instead of necessarily doing material, because then, like, maybe if comic does well and they kind of mention maybe something that, I don't know how to explain it. It's not like you're doing their joke, but you can kind of take a joke of yours and connect it with something they're saying, right? Gets the extra laugh. The crowd loves it, whatever else. And then you bring up the next comic. Or someone doesn't do well, you can do your material in between because you didn't necessarily do it up front, you know? Not saying do crowd work, but also it's like if you can do, sometimes for me, like being in, you know, from New York, but when there's people from New York, or at least like Northeast, I can do some like New York type jokes, and I know like, okay, I can do that for them. That's why it's good to know who's here from the room. Oh, you guys are here from the World Cup. No shit. All right, what are you guys doing here? No, cool. Couple? All right, whatever. I'll leave you alone. Glad you're here. Because literally, again, you could be anywhere in the world, and those people don't get their time back. And granted, I'm at moments right now, and I work at places where, you know, most of the shows are free, if not all of them. I would say most of the shows I do are free. So it's okay. But even if, like, you're selling tickets, and it's like those people paid to be there, and it's not even that they paid to be there. It's like they make it a night. You know, some of them may have kids, whatever else, so they're getting someone, whether it's the grandparents or they're getting a babysitter or whoever. You know, it's they make it at night, and it's just like, okay, I don't know. I just really think time is just so important, you know. And again, everyone knows that in comedy, but like as an audience thing, you know, they don't have to be there. They can fucking get it in the fact they're not paying. It's like, why would they stay? So hopefully you give a gift of laughter. You can give some value, you know. And like, you know, Tuesday, I was irritated with the girls. They finally ended up fucking leaving. I don't know. I didn't want to sit there and just bash them because it's just dumb and stupid. And I think it's kind of like, not that it's not a battle you're going to win, but stupid is just going to keep saying stupid shit. And it's just not going to be fun. You know what I mean? So it's like, look, you're not going to really contribute in any way that's even close to being positive, let alone neutral. Just leave. One girl went to the bathroom. The other one did. One stayed and was like, why? Go. You should go with them. Do blow. Do something. Whatever it is you're doing. You should just, please. And then eventually they did leave and my dreams came true. And then, you know, did a set, tried to be present and whatever. Sorry. But did not, I don't know. Even if there is a little perturbedness that may be justified, to still kind of do what you got to do to connect the people, you know. And I believe I did well. I mean, there was like 6, 7 people there. You know, there was 6 here. There were fucking, I don't know, 4 college kids, whatever. They're all right, but they watch comedy like they're watching it on TV, which is weird. And then what are these dummies? These 3 dummies. I don't know what they were doing. I don't know. They might have been like fucking 20, just somewhat weirded out that they were in a bar and, you know, no one's like come up to them like, get the fuck out. I don't know. It was weird. But these 6 people were cool and so forth. And one guy clapped after one of my jokes. I kind of mentioned like a one man applause break. I'll fucking take it in a place like this, on a night like this. You know, I wish I did better in a way. I felt, I don't know. I just wish, I'll work on it next time. But like just kind of showing that tension. It shouldn't be tension. It's just, for me, it's not even tension. It's just a misunderstanding. Like, I don't understand why you would be like this. Like, in what world, in what place where it's like, you know what's a great idea? Even if you don't want to be there and so forth, like, move to the side. I don't know. It's just weird. People do that kind of shit all the time, and it's nothing that you can control. There's really not much you could do. People are people. And, you know, as long as... yeah, what are you going to do? Holy shit. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't realize how many people are in the chat. This is a fucking blessing. I'm terribly sorry. Oh, boy. That can't be good. Okay, we're fine. All right. Just a spilled Red Bull. Apologize. I shouldn't have done that. Let's see here. Take a look. Where did I leave off? Yeah, I'm good with it. Okay. It makes sense. Love thy neighbor. Thank you so much for being here. The time is good. I thought I wanted to go later Wednesday because a lot of the time you're coming off the stage. Yeah, but I also love thy neighbor. I don't know. Ooh, you said a dirty word. Were they woo girls? No. That's the whole thing. They weren't woo girls. It was just, I don't know how to say it. It was just annoying. Like, it wasn't even... It was more of them definitely drinking out of the pitcher. Like, you get a pitcher of booze, where it's just booze, for like $10. And they, right? And then just a lot of this, like bright, you know, phone on and comic doing them things. And it's not like where the comedy is bad. So you're sitting there. The guy had structure. The guy had jokes. I've seen him before. You know, he even got to a point where he got in their face, and the girl didn't even realize that he was literally probably as close as the mic is to my face. That was funny. There were, you know, kind of the other people were laughing, but that was just to have it. I mean, the spotlight in a way comes. I don't know. And then when you talk to them, it's just stupidity. I don't know how to explain it. It's very hard to work with. It's very hard to work with when, and not like slurring your words, but it's just you're not making sense. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, what is wrong with you in general? You know? And it's a addition by subtraction. I kind of felt bad because there's people after me and all that, on the show. But, there was, like I said, the guy that applauded, and then there was a couple over here, and they both gave me fist bumps, said thank you. That was a lot of fun. So, I guess that's what matters in the moment. It's not like I wish anything more. There's sometimes when I get unsatisfied, it's more of just with, I don't know. I kind of look at it and I was like, what could I have done better? Because a lot of the other things don't matter. The only thing that matters is kind of what I bring. I will say this. I think my stage presence, again, Shakespeare's the Monday mic, and I even think that Tuesday show, my stage presence is fucking out of this world. It's bonkers. It's bonkers. So that's a positive. Again, that's the shit you can't work on. But it does kind of help settle a room. There's times I notice, like in New York, some dudes used to say to me, like, I really love it when there's those moments that you're up there and the crowd leans in and you can kind of see almost like the moment where they go from this to like, and it's not consistent yet. But the fact that I've seen it once or twice means that the capabilities are there to make it consistent, And again, it's one of the things that I absolutely love about this live stream. I never meant to do it this way. I hope it's represented in the way that I think it is. But I really love the fact that it's kind of in real time. And, we'll see what happens. I'm very curious. And what's weird is I don't know this time because I've never, in all my years of doing this, I've never approached it, and I've never approached situations around me the way that I do now, and truly focusing and truly tuning out the noise and realizing like, okay, if I want to be to point A to point B, what do I have to do? Like, I've literally made people will probably think I'm insane, but I have made a whole, I don't know what you would call it, game plan, phases, strategy, for just how do I explain it? Like right now, and I don't think it's unjustified, I'm pretty much irrelevant here in Austin. Like, people don't know me. The Rogan killed Tony shit, Duncan Trussell, that was like fucking 3 years ago at this point. It's way in the past. It doesn't matter. Completely understandable. And now it's just, I feel like it's a matter of becoming, I think, somewhat relevant, getting some notoriety, and then hopefully, like the mission, protecting that is undeniably funny. And long way to go. But it's nice to see, it is nice to see some reps kind of reminding me, I don't know, of what I could do. I got to go deeper with things, I've noticed as well, like my premises. Like, I've got some good jokes, but I think if I started diving into, I guess, more of the, I guess it would be, comedy works with tension, right? So comparison contrast, for example, I think would be really good with why did I go the path I went and kind of how I went the path I went. I think there's a lot of comparison contrast there, but again, it's also how do you as well make sure the audience, I guess, trusts you enough kind of to be willing to go there. And then also, I don't know, the other end of it, the only way I can describe it is a return to self, which is just, I could not have done anything that I'm doing right now, any of the opportunities that I have, if the whole, what I believe is the miracle and the return to self and all of that. Anyway, let's see here. Yeah, Here we go. Well, yes. Yeah, I appreciate it. Let me make sure I'm doing the right button. All right, I'm getting better at it. Nice jersey. I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. It's the OG. It's an NBA Finals one. And, yeah, it's very exciting. It's very
amazing.
without a doubt. I'm going to get used to using these, and then it won't be necessarily as annoying, and they will be added punchlines. I don't know. So, I don't know. I hope, I guess, in a way that, I don't know, it's up to me, I guess. But I really hope that this can be interesting to watch, whether it's like in the future or even what you all are doing right now, which is, I think, in real time. And I think it's fascinating. And, this is what I was trying to say a while ago. I don't know what this version of me is going to do. I drive around doing Uber, and I was talking to myself, and kind of one of the things I said was, in a way, like, I've never been on Kill Tony before. Even though I've been on it, it's like this I don't think has. And I'm very curious to see how it does. Maybe that's a wrong platform, but then again, I'll be trying to get more reps and more reps and more reps and more reps before I even start signing up again for it. But it's interesting. So I feel the same about the dumb Austin's Funniest, which is, I think, 40 days away. And also how I feel about the 3-minute set. And I feel like I have a minute and a half right now that I think would be really good. The reason why I don't bring it to Kill Tony right now is because it's, I think, 12 seconds of it is a joke I've done before on there. So, but it does kind of lead into other things. But I feel like I've got a real solid minute and a half, which means I have 9 laughs in that minute and a half. But I gotta keep going up and see what happens. Pardon me for a moment. Yo, something in the chat. One moment. All right, let's go to the chat. Well, we got Daniel Silva. I think most of us don't know which version of ourselves is going to manifest out of these weird times. Yeah, but at the same time, though, I think you have some control over that. I believe I do. I believe we do. I feel like in my life I do. There's times when, especially lately, things been hitting me. Hold on, let me see how you worded that again. Well, how I used to think compared to how I think now. And one, it is more interior, and then two, it's, there are no outcomes other than the interior. The interior creates the outcomes. The interior is a reflection. I don't know, it's weird to say this, but there's crimes and unjust and things that happen every day. But I do think there's a difference between the people that dwell on it and the people that don't. And I'm not saying ignore it. There's a recognition, but there's no need to spend energy and time and thoughts or energy in a way on it. So I kind of believe even right now, I would say I haven't had this focus since, and it's my fault, but since I would say year 2 or 3 when I was in New York. Pardon me for a moment. I got passed for the late night at the comic strip 2 years in. And I got humbled. And then, I started working at Ha at a time that had 2 floors. So you could do like a 6 o'clock show. And then there would be a show that started at 7. Then a show that starts at 8. Show that starts at 9. Show that starts at fucking great, I think this upstairs show was the last one. I think started at 1, midnight in the bottom room. That went till 2. Yeah, and then the 1 o'clock upstairs kind of went till 3. So literally, you could be in one place and get up 5-6 times in a night in front of different audiences as well, which is absolutely insane for New York. But and I mean, I don't know. Results got to come in a way. We'll see what happens with things. But this is why I feel like the results are going to be good, because I think on the inside, maybe for the first time, I mean this with no arrogance, but it's like I'm ready for this. I'm ready for, I don't know, what I believe is the creation of a career with stand-up. Not necessarily saying being known, might be doing C rooms, for the rest of my existence. But it's like I make a wage that basically I'm making pretty much with Uber now. That would be great. That would be the dream, Then at moments maybe raise it up a bit, but even just having it where it is, all of a sudden it's like, it's almost like doing a bit. I got the closing joke, right? So now I know where I'm going. I can do whatever in between because I know I'm going to end here. So if I do the work, if I keep the mindset, it's why I say stupid mantras to myself and remind myself identity every day. Relax, work, trust, believe, protect the mission. It's all weather. See you in 5 years. Say it to myself all the time. And it works. It humbles. And it also, not even humbles, but it gratifies, if there's such a word. I believe I see the chat going. Let me go to the chat. Daniel Silva says, for sure, we can steer the ship as best we can. I just meant I think we are all dealing with our share of uncertainty. You don't know what it is, but when it arrives, you'll be ready. Yes, I see that you put a question there. Love thy neighbor. Put a question mark, but right. I don't know what it is, but it's it's almost like it's like these shows. It's even that mic on Mondays. I don't know what the next person necessarily is going to be. I don't really know everybody in the scene, and then also everyone who signs up for Kill Tony is not necessarily maybe they've done it once, maybe not at all, and now they're getting up here because of, I drove all the way here, I better do my thing, So the fact that I don't know what I'm gonna get, and I've kind of been consistent with keeping the energy well, not having to necessarily punch down on anybody. I do kind of mock the scene as a whole. I mean, in a way, it is laughed at. It is a joke. You go to Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, people stand in the back and they're like, look, these guys think they're funny. Well, a lot of them. And it's not necessarily unjustified. It's not like they're being assholes. They kind of, in a I don't know, it doesn't exist, but in a court of comedy, they'd be found innocent of whatever, and all charges would be dropped. But that's fun. So just try to get better. Like, who even cares? You know what I mean? It is what it is. There's people kind of affected by things. There seems, I don't know. But at the end of the day, who cares, right? I got to make sure that I can go up. I could generate a laugh within 10 seconds or less, that I can sustain that, for an ample amount of time, keep the interest, make a connection, necessarily do more than just generate laughs in a way. Again, as I like to word, giving the gift of laughter. And again, you were talking about mindset. I think that shit matters at the end of the day, and again, the reason why I titled this, what's outside the field of vision, there was a comic I saw, I sat through, Kill Tony. I sat near where the people come in and out, and one comic in particular I knew, asked him how it went, and I asked him if they did a couple of the jokes that I've seen him do, whatever, and then asked him about the interview. They got a big book, and the whole time they were bummed out because they wanted a golden ticket. And, I was just sitting there thinking to myself, like, man, I understand, but I really don't. You're only looking in your field of vision. You're not looking outside. Like, if you did well and the interview went well, okay, well then chances are, there's just like 2 million people, whatever, 3 million views. I don't know if it's people, but it's like 2-3 million views. It only takes one. So like, you never know who could see that. You never know, like, I don't know. You don't know what people could follow you. I don't understand. Like, I see the idea of, but I think that's one of those things where if you come out of it with a big book, it's good. It's good. It can help you. There's just times that I think a lot of people don't necessarily have content for audiences to go to after they have a moment, whatever, that generates interest more than they're necessarily used to and so forth, and not necessarily being prepared, And I don't know, it's weird. I like how it's a lot of work, but it's not a lot of work. If that makes any sense. Yeah, it does. It's a joy. It's a joy. I love the process. And, like I said, I got a whole strategy. I made a whole map. I'm treating it like Legend of Zelda in a way, because I was using kind of like war terms. Like, I'm going to invade that place and then invade that and invade that. What do I have to do? How equipped do I have to be in order to? And I was like, wait a minute. This feels too angry, too negative, and I'm not necessarily coming from that tone. And I also don't kind of want to project that tone. So then I was like, all right, what could I kind of tone it down to, right? Legend of Zelda. Now, I understand there was 8 pieces of the Triforce, so then you go to the mountain there, right? Then you get the other Triforce. I think you can get Wisdom are the pieces, and then Power is the one Ganon has. There's more than 8 places here. I believe if you just take like kind of the 6th Street map, I think there's 10 or 11 alone that are kind of like regular comedy spots. And now I'm just kind of treating it like, get a little piece of the Triforce, get a little piece of another piece of the Triforce, another piece. And then I also feel that each place, like, how in Zelda, I don't know, each one had some kind of, like the raft. I don't know what they call those, but there were things you can go to, the Master Key and so forth. I think each place is going to kind of teach me something. So when I get the Triforce at the other place, that's going to teach me something to get me the I don't know. It's probably a bunch of bullshit and I'm a weirdo, but that's how I'm looking at it. And that's my strategy for what I can do here while I'm here. And then, and basically just try to get up all the time and then just be undeniably funny, when I'm on stage. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a lofty goal. I am a million miles away from it. But I also think, you know, yesterday I was 2 million miles away. So as you get closer, the miles become more days and whatever. But I do feel like mentally I made a jump. You know, as long as I can keep it. It's a fucking exercise. It's something you got to do every day. You know, it's like eating right. Even if you get sick of eating the same thing. You know, I was kind of going through that a little bit this week. Like, peanut butter sandwich again. It's like, yep, that's what we're doing. Yep, chocolate milk. Yep, that's what we're doing. Yogurt. Yep, chai seed. Yep, ground flax. Yep, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Orange juice. Yep. You know, and it's just the same thing with mindset. You know, who knows what's going to happen. But I've noticed I write more, and I'm excited to, because I want to create new shit to present to people and I guess in a way see if they like it, or you know, have the hopes that you'll get laughs, receive laughs. We'll give them away with the new shit, and I also just love exploring, like what is it I necessarily would like to. What do I see actually? What do I want to joke about? You know, what is. Not really what is my point of view, but what is it that I want to communicate? What is the purpose, right? Again, I have a microphone. It's amplified. There's people that sit there. It's suggested to them that they shouldn't speak back. You should have some purpose. You know, it should all be coming from a place. You know, maybe there is a theme, because there is kind of a question or a wonder. Like, yeah, there's uncertainty, but there's always been uncertainty. There's always been. People have always thought in a way like, oh yeah, 50 years from now, there might be this, this, and this. But they never, I don't want to say never, but they didn't think, wow, this is where we're at 50 years from now. So I think there's always uncertainty in a way, but that's the game of it. Right? Or that's the challenge. That's the maybe purpose of it. You know, to somewhat like find your, why am I being stupid right now? What's the opposite of chaos? Like peace, or at least your calm, your thing in this chaos. You know, it's absolutely crazy. You know, it's kind of like, I don't know if there's still bands anymore, but I always found it amazing how bands came together. You know, how this person was here and whatever, and then at these moments and this thing happened that brought them here, and then they met each other, started playing music, and boom. And it's incredible. It's incredible. If it was one person off, that's a completely different band. Who knows if they have what they have? You know? And it's just like, it's got to be some kind of energy thing. There has to be something, you know, or maybe there doesn't necessarily. But the only way I can explain it is there's some kind of energy outside of me, or maybe it's within me. And that's what all of this is at the end of the day, like a dream within a dream within a dream. I don't know. Maybe I'm going on too long babbling. Let's go to the chat. Oh, no, that's the last thing I said. I definitely have live chat on. All right, dope. Dope. Hit the right button. Yeah, it's all intriguing. Like, I don't know if it's, I don't know if it's clarity or if this is how life is. Or maybe, I don't know, this is probably arrogant to say, or pompous, maybe. But it's just like, I don't know. I think I've stepped outside of this and I'm just watching the show. And I'm no longer, it's not that I don't know. I'm no longer, I don't know, I guess being resentful about it, maybe. I don't know. But there's definitely a different, it's great. There's a different tone. There's a different everything. It's really amazing. It really is amazing. And it's like a dream. It's like a DMT trip. I can understand a lot now. Older people, like in AA, their older talk and things they would say. Now it's like so much of it There's moments of things that click. I don't know. Maybe it's I'm not as selfish as I used to be, so I kind of I don't know. I've always argued in my head, at least I'm an only child, right? So I've always argued in my head different point of views in a way to make sure I was making a decent decision in life and figuring out things, you know. Sometimes it's sabotaged me, sometimes it's been absolutely justified. Yeah, but overall, I think it's been a benefit. It helps me analyze a lot. I don't even want to say analyze, observe, you know, and just look at things that like, patterns. Video games helped with that too. What do we got? What do we got in the chat? We have Love Thy Neighbor. I definitely think that's accurate. The unseen force that brings things together. It's crazy. It's like, you know, maybe people don't talk about it as much as they used to, but the impact of the Beatles. And it's like even, you know, those four people, but also, who was it before? Pete Best was the drummer before. That formula wouldn't have worked, which is crazy. I don't know if you guys have seen Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. But he kind of mentions in the beginning, like, all right, I need to pick the right combination this time in order to, like, go through the mission. I've done this, like, 137 times. This is 138 now. So don't raise your hand. You've done this before. You pussy out every fucking time. There's no way I'm picking you. What about you? You, and whatever. Then this girl who looks like Alice in Wonderland in a way, she raises her hand, I think, for the first time and volunteers to go. And it's like, oh, this could get interesting. This might be the combination, you know, that helps me tackle AI so the future's a better place. And, yeah, I think there's something interesting to that in life. You know, even like, dude, Tyson and Customato, like how that happened and when it happened, the timing of it, you know? And also, it's just sometimes a thing I think about that's fascinating. It's just, say what you will, but it feels like, I don't know, things came out at the perfect time. Everything happens at the perfect time. Take something like music, right? Again, I guess I brought them up a few times. Take Nirvana. Smells Like Teen Spirit came out that time. If it comes out 5 years earlier or 5 years later, I don't know if it's necessarily the same impact. Just a matter of 5 years, you know. Guns N' Roses, I think Appetite's 86. It got big in 87, but if it came out in 81 or even 91, I don't know if it would ever. It's just it's really fascinating. And then again, how those energies, like how that comes. You take Guns N' Roses, what is it? Izzy and Axl are from Lafayette, Indiana. I believe Duff is Seattle. And then Steven and Slash, Saul Hudson are L.A. You know? It's and then all of that came together at a time. And both of them, like, it's just crazy. Axl didn't sing in a choir and whatever else to get, and apparently got molested by his, I don't know, stepfather or whatever else that he thought was his real father and so forth. Something like that, like how all of that made that kind of front man. Like Slash never started playing guitar thinking he would be, you know, having fucking Jack Daniel Les Paul fucking shaped bottles and so forth. But yet somehow, you know, and it's just like, what else could that be? Right? It's got to be inner work, right, which creates the practice and the outer work, and then it's just openness, I guess. Right? Yeah, I'll do this. Yeah, okay, I'll do that. Not necessarily being Jim Carrey yes man, but there is kind of something to that. I think I've done the opposite for the longest time. I think I've been a no guy. You know, that's why I say things like I'm irrelevant, you know, here and so forth, because there's times when I've been like, nah, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to do that, you know, whatever. Now it's just, okay, just book me. We'll see what happens. And that's the fun part of it. See what happens. Hopefully maybe I need to turn that into, instead of see what happens, like maybe I need to turn that into willing to be open. Openness. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'll figure out the wordage. Right? That's really is what it is. And who knows what happens. But, again, I mentioned this earlier. A year or two ago, there's no way. There's no way these would be
amazing.
There's no way whatsoever. I don't think I would host Shakespeare in a way that's fun. I don't think my sets on Tuesday, I think my sets would be good based on my mood. And if I didn't think things were good, my mood would be shitty. Now, and I would say that's even like 6 months work. But again, it's just focusing. I have other reasons. I have whys. Last week, right, with the Australian and so forth, all of that. Dude, I would love to perform in Australia. That would be a cool thing that now I plant in the back of my head as like, there's an aim. That's fun. I don't know what the hell's going to happen, and I definitely don't want to. I don't want to be, I was going to say confident, but that's not the word, but I think it is the word, because evidence builds confidence. So like this is just my opinion, the house of confidence is built with bricks of evidence. I think that makes sense. I think that's the first time I've ever put it like that. So, I don't know. But, yeah, the house of confidence is built by the bricks of evidence. And if there's just evidence, it just depends on what you take. But if it's substantial evidence, again, audience reactions, you pass out your card, you get follows, you get asked to be booked somewhere else. Someone asks you to put up. You show up. You get a guest set. Things like that. I don't know. I haven't. Forgive me. I just haven't loved this like this in a while. Like since I started, I just feel like, again, the miracle, right? Return to self. I just feel like I'm starting over again. Like I'm George Burns in 18 again. And now I'm an 18-year-old kid instead of smoking a cigar. Which, those movies were a trend for like a year. Again, if those movies came out 5 years earlier or 5 years later, would there have even been a trend? There was like some Fred Savage, Judge Reinhold thing. Vice versa, I think. There was something else too. And then the girls came later. But I think there were 3 of them. 18 again, vice versa, and then there was something else. It just wasn't, I don't think the combination was good. Regardless, it's information I don't need to know. But yeah, if that came out 5 years earlier or 5 years later, would that trend have even happened? Just making sure I'm caught up on the chat. By the ways, yeah, it's in the thing. I don't say this enough. If you're here and I've caught your attention for like 5 minutes, give it a like. I don't know. I just kind of ramble my opinions of comedy, kind of my mindset. This is what this is turning into right now. We got some results coming up, possibly in 40 days. See what happens. But until then, it will be a lot of this because it's just there's not too much on the outside, really. I drive around doing Uber. I have exercises for that to make sure I can keep a decent mindset compared to what I used to have fucking 6 months ago, a year ago. I'm trying to just, ignore things like whatever the apartment does. I got to stop I don't know what it is. Just let it all happen. I got to work. Guy wants to sing all my favorite songs horribly, then go at it. I don't know. I'll turn on a little bit of tunes, try not to be loud just to drown you out, and then just write. Or pace around the room and figure out an act out. I've had one lately. It's been driving me crazy. But anyway, I'll figure it out in due time. Yeah, I'll figure it out in due time. That's how it works. But it's just reps. I think the next step is, again, I hope this doesn't come across arrogant. It's just strategy. Next step is I'm going to start hanging around Narbar, seeing what things are like there. See if I'm fortunate enough to gather some stage time on a regular basis. I think that would be great. See what happens. Then it would be cool to kind of have like, hey, Shakespeare, Narbar, boom, boom, boom. Again, piece of the Triforce. And then learn what I can from those places. You know, not take this time for granted. You know, I got a little arrogant when I got past at the comic strip a little bit, you know. And there was also some outside chatter of like, you know, higher up comedians. Comedians have been doing it for years, so forth. I've seen on TV, giving me compliments, and then, you know, doing a lot more of this and whatever, and doing that kind of life. And, you know, girls coming up to you, making you think you're somebody and whatever, fucking you and all of that. And just, I don't know, this is nuts. Nuts. People give you free stuff, you know, for what? Making them laugh for fucking 10 to 15 minutes a night. It's most of the time in some shithole. You know, there were some good times in clubs, but I mean, on the come up, my Jesus. You know, I remember, I don't know if I mentioned this before. I remember one time I think it was probably through a MySpace, maybe even, no, I think it was through a fucking Friendster message possibly. It was on a stone tablet. But show up on this street in New York, and you'll see a blue light, knock on the wall, and it ends up being a door, and you go in. Did comedy. It was nuts. It was nuts. I think something came in the chat, or maybe I'm just being a dummy. We'll take a look anyway, because that's fun to do. What do we got here? Daniel Silva. I could have part of this story wrong. But Freddie Mercury living with Brian May and the other lead guitarist quit Smile Band, and he got his shot at the perfect time. Yeah, I love origin story. It is interesting. Yeah, they're. But here's the thing, right? I don't know. Is this cheesy, or is this maybe just, you know, again, you can't spell optimism without Tim, but getting to the point where it's kind of like everyone's origin story. You know, the kind of like, how'd you get here? You know, most of the time I do that is when there's a lot of, I don't know, there's a lot of people that stand in the medians in Austin with the cardboard signs and a dog and asking for all of that. And that's the kind of times I ask, like, how'd you get there? Because I always say to myself when I see them, like, man, you know, I was a car breaking down, you know, I was a bad decision away from being that. And it's just like, how'd you get here? How'd you get here? I don't do it enough for, I guess, you know, I should apply it more for like what I've seen from comics here. But then again, I don't know. That shouldn't matter. But it is, I would like to show you guys stuff, but I just think it'll probably look nuts. But I definitely have a map, and I'm coding it out, you know, with certain, you know, if I perform here once, if I've been asked to come back, if I'm a regular, you know, when I get paid, and try to make a scale for each place. Yeah, and then try to get, again, each piece of the Triforce. And then what would be the Ganon, in a way, would be maybe like having the ability to go to New York without any kind of day job. That would be dope as fuck. And I'd be willing to kind of start over again in New York. And then, I don't know. We'll see. See in 5 years, you know. Anything's possible. And, you know, there'll be a lot of, again, there'll be a lot of negativity, a lot of noise, but there'll also be positivity. You know, so far I've been blessed where most of the feedback is pretty much positive. And then even the negative feedback, I don't know, it doesn't bother me too much. There's a truck that parks outside my place. But that doesn't even bother me too much. And I've had fun with some of it. You know, again, there was a guy who was like another Monday bitching about people he wishes he was or whatever. Yeah, I love using the term Monday now. Oh, there's another fucking Monday on stage. thinking they're great because they got a gel blaster. It's like, settle down, buddy. You're just a fucking Monday. You know, so thank you to that person who didn't like anything I did. I appreciate it. Pardon me. Yeah, but I mean, sure. But like, this is, yeah, ooh, I don't know. Yeah, you can see that. But that's kind of the idea a little bit. Narbar spelled wrong, forgive me. I went to make, what is it? The bullets. And did it wrong. So I gotta go back and correct that. But, you know, phase 1, so forth, all of that. And then made a little map. Yeah, fuck it. What do I care? But this is what I use as visual. Like, I believe in, like, you know, again, manifesting, visualization, whatever. We'll see if it works. Maybe it doesn't. Who knows? But to me, I feel like I have enough proof in my life that that is the case. Oh, yeah, sorry. Let me put it here. Let's go to... One moment, everybody. Deeply apologize. I got to find some kind of uncopyrighted music. Like, not like Jeopardy, but you know what I mean. But here, did I do this right? Yeah. How do I hide this? Here we go. So, here we go, guys. This is my Legend of Zelda map that I made, pretty much. And, So, and then from now, you know, so now it's like there's a game plan. There's like the map of Hyrule in a way to me, right? So I don't know. That's what I've done. And now it's just for me, it's like, yeah, it's just trying to get the Triforce. You know, see what happens. We'll absolutely see what happens. As long as I don't take myself too seriously. At any point, you know, I think that's usually ends up being the downfall of people in general. You know, keep in mind that it doesn't really matter what I do, but it is important to me. You know, like, did it matter what the Beatles did? It was just important to a lot of people. You know, not as important anymore. So the matter falls. I don't know how it works, but it's just, it's interesting how time is the judge of everything. You know. Oops. Oh, here, I can do this. But yeah, it is interesting to me. Time ends up being the judge of everything. You know, maybe as well as I fucked up my karma too much in my past. And, you know, maybe I'll never, in a way, overcome it. Who knows? But the fact that I've gone through what I've gone through, again, whether it's self-inflicted or it's circumstances, at the end of the day, I put myself in. The fact to be here now is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. You know, it's the only, I don't really have regrets, right, with the live stream or anything, but I kind of wish I had this like a couple years ago. There's no, even if it was just me on my phone, but it would have been not good. It would have been not good. Meaning, it just would have been depressing and sad and just kind of like, oh, I don't want to listen to this. A lot of self-pity, I imagine. Probably a lot of no self-accountability. No accountability, just more of blaming. Outside circumstances are the reason for this. You know, I don't know. Maybe, again, that would have gotten me a quadrillion amount of views. It would have gone viral. It's like, oh, no, dude, I can fucking relate with that, dude. Look at this guy. He's in his car. He's fucking miserable. Who knows? But I know definitely, in my opinion, would not have been good. I wouldn't have wanted to watch it. Even as like a quote-unquote hate watch. No way. No way. It's not even that good. If that makes sense. Oh, what did I do? Oh, that's a bummer. That's okay. What did I do with it? Anyway. I don't know. Yeah, I hope that stuff makes sense. And honestly, I don't care if it makes me look like a psycho. It has me focused on what I'm doing, you know. And as more and more, I think, as I figure things out with this live stream and get things moving along, be able to integrate the soundboard more, and then as also I build more evidence for kind of what I'm doing is good or has some value. And it's not just a live stream, but it's like I'm more into just the live element of it. I really want to. So I don't mean performing, but in a way it kind of is, but it's kind of not. But I really enjoy. I forgot how much I enjoy it. You know, even when it's I don't know, not necessarily the greatest environment. I wouldn't want it that way. You know? Yeah, I just think no heckling's stupid. I just think that's really stupid. Sorry guys, I'm looking for my nicotine vape. I thought I had it in my pocket, but let me do this quick. Curses foiled again. Well, maybe that's a sign that I should step away and call this a live stream, perhaps. Why would I not do that? It seems so dumb. Why would I not do that? Okay. Oh, forgive me on that. See, that's all I want. Then I could do another fucking 5 hours. Not that I would, but maybe I should talk about that sometime. I probably wouldn't. I was thinking about maybe for an episode, but what do we got here? I did watch was it 50 Hours at the comic strip years ago? Oh, Daniel Silva, definitely, man. Okay, that's good to know. What's that, my time? All right. Oh, okay. It's 11:30. I see. Anywhere from 8 to 11. Oh, got you. Okay. Appreciate you, buddy. Thanks for being here. That probably gives me a cue. Probably gives me a cue to wrap things up. I gotta get stuff more in rotation. I gotta be a better host with this. That's okay. Or maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I mentioned that. I'm kind of experimenting, seeing when people are on, per se. I do have a graph thing and whatever, so I'm kind of trying to follow that when it comes to Wednesday. But I will say it feels a little unnatural. Yeah, it does. It feels unnatural. You know what I mean? Not that it's bad, but like coming on 20 minutes ago, running in, you know, being like, all right, get this set up, Red Bull, boom, this, boom, all right, boom, 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 boom. We got this, change the picture, let's go, thumbnail, title, all right. Compared to kind of just moseying on in, you know, and there's probably either some kind of emotional high from either like, okay, this worked, this didn't, or, you know what I mean? Either way, there'd be some kind of high, but I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I got to get better with mentioning the phone line for sure. And the fact that it is 24 hours, 7 days a week. You can leave messages, whatever. I will play them. I don't see why not. It depends on what they are. But I don't think there's going to be anything that, like even if someone's negative or whatever. So on that note, where do I go now? Oh, that's where I go now. So on that note, yeah, I was supposed to do that, I think, the whole time, and I didn't. So on that note, I got to get in the habit of doing this as well. Definitely giving gratitude. Come on, what are you doing, buddy? There we go. Definitely need Jacob P. Comedy. You're the man, Tim. Appreciate you, Jacob. Wow. I forgive me. Don't necessarily recall seeing you before, but if you have been here, I don't mean disrespect. Sometimes I do kind of miss some of the chats as I'm reading them through. But yeah, Jacob P. Comedy. Appreciate you being here, buddy. I don't know if I'm the man, but I'm definitely a guy, right? So doing the best I can. Appreciate it. Let me get you on the screen there. I don't think I did that. Again, let me give shout outs where they're necessary because I need to do this more often. Look at that. Jacob P comes in, right? He comes in at number 4. As well, also have to give a shout out to Latterus 46 and 2. Oh man, you're a Tool fan. You are a Tool fan. Why did I not see? Did I misread comics? I'm going to go back and look. If I did, I apologize. The person probably left because I didn't mention their name. And they're hating me for the rest of their existence. Love Thy Neighbor coming in at number 2. Always been here. Daniel Silva. I think you've been here a little over a month now. Thank you so much, even though you already jammed out. Go back to this. Did I miss somebody? Oh, I feel bad if I did. Oh, there he is. Nice jersey. Oh, you're the one who mentioned the jersey. Oh, no shit. I'm terribly sorry for that. Because, yeah, I would have totally gotten your name. Laterolus, 46 and 2. I had 2 Tool songs, by the way, I absolutely love. And the fact that you put them together, good for you. And if I remember correctly, off 2 different albums as well. So good for you. Hopefully you're still here or you're going to come back in the future and I get to say this somewhat to your face. This is about as close as I can get. For now, hopefully I can get things moving and come to your town. Jacob, appreciate the laugh and the... I forgot to mention reactions. Okay. That's good, though. Last week I had a good roll. I had a good rhythm going. And, I got to write things down after to be like, hey, definitely do this throughout the fucking live stream, dum-dum, as well as talk to people. But I get such a joy when I see the chat move where it's like, boom, boom, boom. It's like, oh, what does someone got to say? Don't even care what it is. Like, I don't mean it like that, but it's just, I'm curious. None of it's going to affect me. That's what I meant by it, Always get a little excited. Because at the end of the day, it kind of seems like I'm just a dumb kid from Syracuse, New York, who in a way has always felt like they should be a comedian. It's always felt right. And I'm just, I fucked up along the way, and now I'm just a dummy who's trying to put his life back together, And it would be really dope to do it in real time. And also... I can develop the patience for that. Then hopefully maybe also an audience can develop the patience for that, man. Because this is the unedited montage of everything. You know what I mean? This is the unedited montage. I would nerd out big time and just, I don't know. But I think I kind of do somewhat enough. After that, I think it does get sickening. But to me, I don't know. There's a beauty to it. I saw the chat move, so I got excited. Let's go to the chat. Jacob P. Comedy. I've seen every appearance of yours on Kill Tony. Oh, wow. And I watched a lot of videos of you, and you're a very funny guy. Ah, man. See? I appreciate it. This is what I was talking about. Basically, not even just tonight, but the last few weeks. And it's like, Jacob P., I don't recall seeing you again. If you've been here before, I apologize. But look at this. Out of nowhere, right? Outside of my field of vision, the little things that don't show up in the box score. You know what I mean? It's these kind of things. And it's so easy, at least for me, to look up at the scoreboard, and it's just like, dude, we got plenty of time. But... I've gotten better with it, but it's like, look at this. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. You've watched every appearance. There's only been like 3, hold on. I think the first one was Segura. That was good. I I don't know if the video actually captured the energy of that night, but yeah, I think that night Willie Hunter was the fucking whatever, the robot thing. I can't remember what it was. And then yeah, Segura and Christina, and I had a good minute prepared. I knew the laughs. You know, that was something where I had. What was it? I went to L.A. for 2 weeks because of the Asheville Comedy Festival in North Carolina, and someone offered the opportunity, and I was like, I will take you up on that. And they wanted me to, and I did. And so I went out to L.A. for 2 weeks, and I signed up for Kill Tony. I got picked last on that episode. I think it's number 82. I got picked, I believe, last. I mean, there might have been like a regular one up before me. I'm not sure. But, yeah, I remember sitting. It was in the belly room upstairs, which is fine. I remember it was like, oh, this is interesting. But that was something where this was my mentality back then, where it's like I had three different minutes. And it was all kind of depending on really how the show was going and so forth, which one I would do. And then I think the second one was during COVID. It was at Antone's. Don't remember the episode numbers now. This is right before, I don't know, I'm not even gonna, maybe before 500? No, I can't remember. But there were 2 at Antone's. If I remember, yeah, 2 at Antone's, where there was, shit, dude. I remember one was Ron White, but I believe, I may be wrong, I believe my first one in Austin was after fucking Danielle. And, what's his name? The golden ticket guy who burned him, and then Danielle went on the rant and so forth. I think that was, and then after that, the week after that, was Ron White. And I don't know. I guess both of them were all right. And then what? Tom Papa won at the Vulcan. That was pretty rough. I think I've watched that one once, and it was fucking cringe. The interview, I just kept beating it was just like, stop, dude. You're not doing as bad as you think you are. It's just like, it was crazy. Like, we were talking about mindset. Oh, I hope there's people on here from before, but man, you want to talk about mindset. That Tom, it is crazy. I bet you I should watch that again, maybe. Because I remember sitting there like, dude, stop beating yourself up. This is insane. Like, yeah, the minute maybe didn't hit necessarily, but also, and it's just like, yeah, dude, stop. It was, yeah. But again, that's the self-pity. That's the, again, that's not the person that's standing here now. I see the chat moving, so let's go with the chat. This is great. It feels like more than that. Ooh, what's this? Oh, those were funny moments. Yeah. Okay. You know the references I'm making. I'm just trying to go. I haven't done this in a while. I don't mean this with arrogance, but it's like you saw every one. And my first thing was like, dude, there were some shitty ones where it was just like, oh God, I would fucking hate me too. And then the Rogan one was almost going to be like the Papa one, but then I could see the moment, and I remember it too, where I said, fuck it. Like, they didn't like the minute. That isn't what I wanted. I wanted to come back from the Papa thing. And at the time, Rogan, I don't even know. The mothership wasn't even open yet. It might have been a thought. And I wanted to fucking knock it out of the park, and I felt like I didn't. Even if it was good, I still felt like it was fucking awful. What a dummy I am. And then, yeah, I remember sitting there and I just went, fuck it. And I heard him say the thing about the odometer. And sometimes there's shit I say in my head that I don't say out loud. And that was the moment I remember I just went, fuck it. I was like, dude, I don't read them. What are you talking about? There's a fucking thing that counts them for me, stupid. You know, I didn't say stupid, but that was like in my head. And then, all right, that got a laugh. And then that ended up being something that crazy amount of views. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy. And then what? The one after that, I think, was Duncan Trussell. No. Ian and Tony's mom. Tony's mom actually really, she laughed, had a great time throughout the whole. But I don't know. The minute was fine. I felt like that interview, it's just like, how do I say it? It's not that he was faking it. But it's like, all right, I was up here. I did time that wasn't necessarily awful. And then now I'm going to ask you some questions and we're going to move on. You know what I mean? It just, I didn't, and that's for me. I'm not saying that was him, but I just didn't feel like, I don't know, a connection in a way. I can't describe it. And then the Duncan Trussell one felt better. I guess inviting. He didn't seem inviting in a way. Not that he has to invite, but I can't think of another word right now. But again, that's me in my head shit back in that day. That's why it's going to be interesting next time I go on. I don't know if it's going to be better. I don't know if it's going to be worse, but it's definitely not the person I'm going through now. And then Duncan Trussell. And then after that, dude, I think it's the last one I did. I don't even know what the fucking dude's name was. I hated everything about that. I never brought myself to watch that. And it's with Scratch, Twitch, Itch, some fucking Twitch guy, like on Twitch. That I remember. Oh, I so in my head. I remember that night very well. It helped change a lot of things. That was the beginning of a lot of like, I don't want that experience again. What do I have to do? Well, we got to start thinking about getting a place and figuring out how we're going to do that, how we're going to get car fixed, blah, 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 blah. But that did a lot. So sorry for the rundown on the history of things. You just really got me thinking. I've never really done that. Like people ask me episodes I'm on, I'm like, I don't know. I can tell you a guess, but I don't remember the numbers or stuff. To me, again, the Rogan one's so long ago. I'm amazed when anyone references it. I'm like, that's crazy. I remember I've delivered a couple times on Uber, and there's a leave at the door. I've had people open the door and be like, hey, you've been on Kill Tony, right? I'm like, yeah. They're like, no shit. Fucking yeah. I give them a card. See, I don't know. It's interesting, man. It's really interesting. But, you know, it's kind of like, what'd you do yesterday? That's why I did a good interview after the Danielle podcast. And it's on my YouTube. But the ending, you know, it's like I stayed up as late as I could on that Monday. Because I know when I woke up Tuesday, Monday doesn't matter. And I believe that wholeheartedly. Let's go to the chat. Did I miss anything? Your smart self on. Tom Papa is not a funny comedian. Okay, my humble. I see what you're saying. Yeah. So anything in front of him, it's I see what you're saying. It's for me, it's more of where I was. And I think I think it was maybe a month or I remember, like, when I say I remember where I was, it's here. And, like, that Tom Papa one, I remember. My old man died. It was kind of like out of a nowhere phone call. And then we have a story, which I won't get into now. Maybe I will sometime in the future, because it is a really fascinating. I told a friend of mine it like a couple weeks ago. And it was fucking fascinating. Very, very fascinating. Great story. But it left me a little lost in a way of just, you know, what would the Joker do if he actually killed Batman? He'd have nothing. What does he do now? What does he do? You can't really make another Batman. They kind of have to manifest. So, and then, yeah, it wasn't Tom Papa that, mattered to me. It's more of, I look at it, again, outside my field of vision. I look at it as, I'm someone that has had some content up and whatever. So I look at it as, I'm not really performing for the panel, right? Or for even Tony himself, Red Band. It's more, and not even really for the audience. Like, yes, performing for the audience because they're there and their reaction, their energy can contribute to everything, right? If I do my job right. But I think more of just the people watching. Like, how many and who could it be? You know, who do you have the opportunity to actually go up in front of by doing this, by being presented this moment? Whether, again, I don't believe necessarily in luck. Again, it's just being prepared for when the opportunity comes. So whether it's luck, you know, whether it's whatever, you know, maybe someone mentions your name and you get pulled. Maybe you're getting talked about town and you get pulled. Like, whatever it is, you get that opportunity. And it's a bigger opportunity than, you know, a gel blaster or a big book. You never know, you know, and that's why next time I go into it, I want to go into it like I did the first time. And I want to have 3 minutes that I can choose from, 3 1-minute sets that I can go, you know what, this would be perfect right now. That's hopefully what can happen in that situation. It's nothing I can control. Who knows what will actually happen? But I don't know. That makes me feel prepared for that moment instead of just having a minute. And then it's like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. Boom. I'd like to have 3 of them that I kind of had the freedom. And then if I make an incorrect choice, well, it's data. I learn. But I just think I would do well in the interviews now because I'm not in that state. I was going to ask if that's understood, but I know it is. It's a bad habit of mine. Oh, let me go to this. Sorry, buddy. Yeah, you're probably talking about Rogan. The redaction arc of that one episode of Kill Tony was epic. Yeah, you literally, in my opinion, and I don't mean this with arrogance. In my opinion, that was kind of like watching someone at the end of 8 Mile in real time. You know, where you thought he was going to choke in a way, and then all of a sudden some bars started coming, you know. And it's like, again, it's like the old Tonight shows where comic would be a guest and Johnny or Letterman, Conan ask questions that basically make them do their material. Old Dr. Katz episodes, if you've never seen that animation, used to be on Comedy Central, but it's comics going to see a shrink. And basically it's just he asks questions that ends up making them do bits in a sense. So, you know, to also have, you know, the openness to, if you can fling in a joke while you're doing the interview where you know, oh, I can say this right now, I know it's going to crush. That was the AA and open mic line where it was just like, oh, you just gave me the opportunity. And that's where I went, hey, you know, I do have to admit, I go to AA meetings now. They're a lot like open mics. The only difference is addicts are getting better. So to be, yeah, that's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Maybe I look at it too deep, but I do think there is, like, I don't know, there's elements you have to be at when you go up there. You know, you don't know who's going to be on before you. You don't know who the panel's going to be. You know, sometimes they're not a match. Other times they are. Like, I think like Tom and Christina, good match. Rogan at that time, good match. Duncan, good match. Papa, yeah, not a good match. Twitch or Scratch, whatever the fuck his name is. Nah. You know, yeah, I don't know. So there's just those outside elements, and you can't really control the room in a way. Again, you know, it's just it's and plus you're not in it watching the whole thing. Where me personally, I don't like being in a green room unless you're headlining and you're on the marquee. But I like sitting in the back of the room watching the show and just seeing what do they laugh at, what aren't they laughing at. Oh, I found out those people are from this place. Okay, they're this origin or whatever, right? They're a couple, they're not, whatever. And I think the fact you can't see the whole game, you know, but then again, it's, you know, if you break it down to basketball, hey, someone goes down in the third quarter, we need you going in. You got to go in, you got to play, you got to be ready. You know, again, it's not luck, it's just being prepared. So in a way, just being prepared as much as possible, which is kind of like preparing yourself to be ready for anything in a way, you know. That was probably too long of a whole thing talking about, you know, whatever. Kill Tony, the strategy of it, I think, you know. I don't know why you want to go up there with a purpose in a way. Instead of just, I don't know. Maybe I have an incorrect read, but a lot of it seems more of notoriety than recognition. And I think there's a difference, you know, being recognized for great work and being notarized, you know, for doing work, you know, recognized for being something compared to working on doing something. There's a difference. Oh, we got someone in the chat. I deeply apologize. This is awesome. Thank you again to everyone who's talking. Holy cow. Hey, 95DX2, look at you. I believe this is the first time in a second that you've been here. Appreciate it, buddy. What? I finally catching actual live. Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, dude, I usually start them at like 11:15, 11:30. Thanks for the background on the history. Never wanted to ask. Oh, cool. You can always ask. I don't have a thing about it. Congratulations on a regular Tuesday night gig. That's awesome. It is. It's a rep. And I'm grateful for it, and I treat it as such. You know, I just go in and just try to do the best I can with whatever I'm getting. And it's cool. I've been up late in the lineup. I've been up in the middle of the lineup, you know. So, I don't know. It's all just getting the rhythm back, you know. I sound like George Foreman coming out of retirement in a way, but I don't know. You know, recovery kind of surprisingly, to me anyway, did that. Where it's almost like I'm learning again, or I have to relearn. Or just adjust the muscles in a way. But, yeah, I mean, I could honestly tell you each of those nights. But there's also, I could tell you so many shows and spots, whatever, that I've done, somewhat big or small. I pretty much remember a lot of them and remember where I was. The whole gist of a lot of it was, like that Tom Papa is a prime example of the mindset I used to have that I want to stay away from. So in a way, I'm glad it's out there, you know, at least for me. And it does give a good story if I accomplish half of the things that I would like to do in the next 4 to 5 years. Make sure I'm not missing anything in the chat. Boom, here we are. I'm asleep by the time you start a live stream. I'm on vacation. Oh, so I don't have to get up if I. Oh, okay, that's dope. Okay, good to know. May I ask quick, just for my own knowledge and understanding? Is it something is this something that you watch later on in the week, or is it you catch it, you watch it, whatever? There's no wrong answer. I'm just very curious because I really want to build this. And the more I know, the more I know. And, graphs and numbers in a way can only say so much. And the human beings actually can say more, Again, there's nothing bad happening. I'm greatly impressed with the quality of everything I've got. It's I think the quality of comments, I think the quality of the chat, it seems like the quality of the people that have been tuning in is all spectacular, which really just motivates me to see if that can expand. And the more likes, the more comments on videos, the more people talk in the chat, I think the more it gets generated to people. But also, I'm just curious if there's value to it after the fact, or if it's just like, because I don't know how people necessarily think of live streams. It's a world that I've only entered basically in 2026. So I don't know if it's like, oh, you weren't there live, you don't watch it in a way. I don't know. But I guess also I think a lot of streamers do a regular like nightly thing. And I just think that's too much. You hear from me once a week. That's it. You want to hear more from me, come to a show. You know where I'm at. But other than that, you don't need to hear me. This is already fucking like maybe 2 hours. That's ugh. You know what I mean? Who wants 2 hours of me? Unless it's live on stage and so forth. But let's see here. Oh, you didn't say anything yet. Okay. Probably right away. No big deal. I'm just very curious. And I got to get better at showing things. Also, 95 DX there too. I've also got, let me put this on the screen. I also got a phone number now. You don't have to join Discord or anything else. Oops, I always do that. Wrong screen. You don't have to join Discord or anything of that nature. It is 604-504-0508. It's in the description. It's on the bottom of the screen. I can receive. I have it so I receive calls while I'm on air, but it's open 24/7. You can leave messages, and who knows, maybe I'll put something on the air. More than likely, I will. I think that'll be fun and interactive. And 95DXS1R. I don't know if you know, so I'm just going to go through this again, and it's good for me to do this. But we've got some sound effects, buddy.
Amazing.
It really is. So far, these are the 6 I have, and I do think I am going to eliminate one this week. But so far, it seems like, what's happening?
Amazing.
So that one seems to be a winner. This one seems to be a winner. This is a favorite of mine.
Nobody wants you here. Nobody!
Great episode of Seinfeld. There's this, which I don't use often enough. Come on. What's going on?
I'm giving you a choice.
There we go.
Either put on these glasses or start eating that trash can.
And then,
We got everything here from a little old Joe to damn as I know.
so that's been fun, and I've been picking that up. I know that was something that wasn't there when you were here last. Let's go to the chat. Let's see. I usually watch the next. Oh, no shit. Your content is genuine. That's what I like about it. Awesome. And of course, it's hilarious. You don't have to say that. There's times when it's funny. There's times when it's not. But I'm also a terrible judge of myself. So learn to just take a fucking goddamn compliment, Tim. You got it. Thank you very much for that. And that's good to know. It's good to know that like you check it out and it's worth checking out. I appreciate that. And I appreciate the genuine comment because that is something that, right? It's just, how do you say, there's people that could do things I can't, right? And there's also things that I can do people can't. And it's, people could get a phone number. People could get a chat going. People could, but I don't think people could do it the way I do it. I don't mean it arrogantly. I just mean it as like, I don't know. So, and it's something I've been trying to, you don't work on it, but it's something like to not be performative when I'm on this. You know, and for me, what I've noticed is if I don't address some elephants in my head, whatever it may be, if I don't talk about whatever is right here in that moment, then all of a sudden it's performative. If I'm kind of going, no, I meant to talk about this, so let me at least go through this. No, let me address the fact that I want to talk about this, but I don't want to start it right away, so I'm going to do this. If any of that makes sense. And then then I've been able to, I kind of translate that a little bit to kind of like get in that mindset before I go on stage. You know, it's those reminders. It's like, again, if you watch some of the news clips of the foreigners who have been here for the World Cup and how much they're amazed with things that we take for granted, you know, and granted, some of it is like fast food, but they do talk about like restaurant. They do talk about the portions. They do talk about the prices. They do talk about the bars and the pubs and things, you know, the stadiums. And then also like some of them have experienced like, you know, Boston life, Texas life, I don't know, Kansas, you know, and doing the parades and marching through and the energy and the number of them is just fucking, this is dope. This is dope. And it's a great reminder, you know, not saying we're perfect, not saying we're great, but man, you know, yeah, it's like Stanhope says, you know, his old joke of saying America is the greatest country is like saying she's the hottest Denny's waitress, you know. But to a point, it's like, I don't know. Again, it could be just being propaganded to us through the media, just being like, look at this, everyone fucking, despite everything that's going on around the world, America is just adored and loved so much. There's really nothing that America can do to really lose. You know, I hope it's not. It probably is, partially, at least. But it'd be dope to think, like, I don't know. Again, I loved it when they were here. They were great. Their energy was awesome in audiences. They were just having a great time. And why wouldn't you? You know? You're fucking breathing. We forget that. Not everybody does that. You know? What did I say? I think I said that at the Shakespeare mic. Where I was like, you know, some of you got to come up here and try. There's 180,000 people that died yesterday in America who would love to come up here and bomb with some fucking dignity. So get your shit together and get some structure. All right, next to the stage. Sorry, I just love hosting that open mic. Did I miss anything in the chat? Oh, okay. Just making sure. I was going to end this a while ago. And, yeah, people started coming in and talking. I'll stay until that dies down, man. Doesn't matter to me. I think some of this makes fascinating conversation. You know, I appreciate Jacob P. kind of bringing up every episode. I haven't thought about every episode. I think 7 times I've been on. I think that's the total number. Two big books. That's nice. I got one in a frame in the other room, kind of like my, I got like a living in the car frame. So it's kind of like, it goes around, you know, the way I set up the picture. So it kind of starts from like when it all started and the bad stuff, and then it gets better, and then the joke book's in the middle, which is pretty great. You know, again, something I look at as like motivation and a reminder. You know, it wasn't that long ago. Don't get cocky, you dummy. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It's just fucking stand up. The world's still gonna fucking go the way it's gonna go, whether I tell jokes or I don't, or if there's a mass audience for it or not. Doesn't matter. But again, it's important to me. Seems purpose and alignment. Seems what it's all about at the end of the day. All right. I look like, okay, I'm going to wrap it up again. We'll see what happens. I'll do a Kinnison spot with this and fucking stay on until I walk everybody. No. Or closing. Let's see. Other than that, phone number's there. Hopefully people that tune in see it. I think I mentioned it. I got to learn to mention it a couple more times. Anyway, that's me editing. This has been great. I love the interaction. And there's really nothing that's off limits. There's nothing really that's off limits to me and so forth. I'll answer things just like how I feel about like people that say shit in the crowd. I never necessarily tell a person, hey, stop talking. I've noticed there's a number of comics here that will they'll get mad at an audience member when they say something during their set. They'll get mad. I'm always just curious. What's that? What'd you say? What about that? And it's always good to repeat what the person said so everyone in the crowd can hear. A lot of times you don't see that. You see comics like kind of having a conversation with someone and the rest of the audience can't hear what they're saying. So you're saying stuff, but they don't know necessarily like, that could have been a joke, but because you didn't say what that person said. Anyway, dumb stuff, right? Who even knows it works? Yeah, plus, I think I'm having a slight nicotine fit. And I gotta get my thing. All right. So, on that note, I want to thank everyone who was here. I love doing this, going through top fans. We could bring that up because now it has expanded to what we had maybe 45 minutes ago. Again, man, Latterolus, 46-2. Thank you for being here. Love thy neighbor. Been here every week. You're a fucking gem. Thank you so much. Jacob P. Comedy. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. You generated fascinating conversation, all of you. 95DX, Sir, too. Thank you so much for chiming in, and thank you very much for your feedback. I appreciate it greatly. And then Daniel Silva coming in with 150 experience points. I like how they treat this like a video game. I don't know what that means. Maybe I should look sometime. I'll look into it. But it's pretty dope you guys do this. It's dope you do this to contribute to this because I could do it without you, but I don't think it would be as interesting, and I also don't think myself would come through. Again, I'll leave on this. Just thinking about maybe what this is and what this is evolving to. And what I started with in the beginning, trying to do basically like Letterman, but in a live stream. Trying to do a produced show live, I don't think works, right? So I stopped doing that. Then it was kind of like that growing pain, that transition, learning how this works, getting the keypad down and whatever, and understanding. I don't know. There's people that, it's just like AA, where people mention some tips in the beginning, and it's like, doesn't make sense, and now it does. And then seeing what this is, I just, I don't know. I, again, don't mean this arrogant. This is what I want this to be. I have some things to work on. I definitely have to play.
Amazing.
I have to play with that more often, but but regardless, it's all a learning process, and I can't thank everybody enough for being here. Hopefully, in the next 40 days, results will start coming in we'll see if I move on to the semis, see if I'm semifinal material, because that's what I think it is. It's not about necessarily having a good set. It's like, am I going to do the things that a semifinalist would do? And hopefully I do those things. And I'll be signing up for Kill Tony, I think, starting August 24th, Kobe Day. And then I'll probably also start signing up for the Mothership, which is basically an audition. See if I can get some spots. I don't know how it works, but hopefully I'll have 1 3-minute set. that I'll just fucking run through. But as long as I'm present and just, trust the process and believe in myself, I think I'll be fine. Either way. Did I miss anything in the chat before I go? Again, thank you, everybody. I'm glad I got to see you live, man. Sorry. Keep pushing, man. One step at a time. Yeah, it's everything. Stacking days. That's all I'm trying to do. And I'm just going to stack days until this contest, and then I'm very curious to see what data comes back. This is, I'm enjoying the process. The question is, can I enjoy the process when I don't necessarily get the results that I wanted? We'll see. Maybe. I imagine we will. That's the stuff that's going to be important when those moments happen. But until then, I don't know. I feel great about everything. I'm putting in the work, doing everything I can. I'm trying to deal with circumstances the best that I can. Shut out the noise, focus. I'll go through my mantras one more time, and then I'll bounce. Identity every day. Relax, work, trust, believe, protect the mission, and the mission is to become undeniably funny. It's all weather. All of it. And I'll see you in 5 years. Let's jam. Oh, got a couple more. I'm sorry. I don't want to exclude anybody. Hey, look at this. Small town in New Mexico. There he is. Australia. What the fuck's up, dude? Who's this up here? Okay. Yep. Good day, dude. Yeah, I know who it is, you dum-dum. Glad I saw you today. Did you... Oh. Yeah, sorry. I usually kind of come on like I would have been on for an hour now. Oh, buddy. I'm a man of my word. It's kind of the only reason I wore the jersey. So you don't have to or anything, but if you go back to the beginning of the live stream, I pretty much just kind of overdo it with this a little bit, And I also have...
We got everything here from a little eye Joe to damn near I know.
Right? True romance. So. But I do think we're going to start eliminating because I want all of these to be really good. And I think right now, of course...
Amazing.
Front runner. And then I do think that's number 2 right now. So, yeah, dude, I'm trying to be a man of my word. I don't know if there's anything I'm missing that I said last week, but yeah. Let me go to the chat. Let me see what you're saying. Because again, thank you so much for chatting. All of this I think helps algorithm and so forth. And the great thing is I've noticed numbers have been growing week to week, like little things like reactions. I think I got the most reactions last week than ever before. It's amazing. 56 chats, whatever. That's insane. Again, I'm just a dumb kid from Syracuse. Let's take a look here. I'll watch it for sure, mate. Have a good day, dude. Stay funny. All the best. All the best. Yeah, it's definitely a good time to go. So, as I tend to do now, I am going to jam out on Joe Yoga's Gimme Death. Again, based on an absolute true story. And, just told so well. One hell of a songwriter. If you haven't checked out some of his other work, man, I remember this dude lyrically and just like chord progression wise and so forth. I absolutely was blown away by this guy. How many fucking songs he would just write and they'd just be good. It's just like, damn. I've seen him in some incarnations with a band, and I think that's kind of beautiful when he can have that and be the lead. It just adds so much other like rhythm and so forth, and melodies, and it's beautiful. It fills up so much of it. But if you haven't had the chance, always I recommend you can go right here to Bandcamp and check out Joe Yoga. And on that note, again, I will, just in case there's people talking, you can call anytime. That's the point of that. Trying to hit this. There we go. Cool. Everyone be well. Thank you, everyone who was here. And let's jam out to Mr. Joe Yoga. Thank you again. This is dope. This is dope. Can't do it without you. It's great.
On the first day of my vacation, they turned the lights out. I sat there in the dark and prayed for death. I wrote a song. I thought it was stupid, even though I know not all of them can be the best. I read with a flashlight for several hours, waiting for the electrician dude to come and fix the breaker, for love to save me. But that was not the message that got through. No, death is the only thing that makes this interesting. You know in your heart that you'd get bored. Death is the only thing that makes this interesting. Why in hell on earth would you want more? Well, after several hours of this, I became discouraged, but determined to make something of the day. I went to the open mic to get some rage out and play my song, but I got number 58. And I became acceptance. I sat there unmoving, watching all my friends get on the stage to sing their asses off, to try and reach me, but I didn't have my anthem till I heard Tim Warner say.
What did I say? I said death is the only thing that keeps this interesting.
Why in hell on earth
Because you want more. This is what I said. I said death is the only thing that keeps this interesting.
You know in your
You
heart,
know in your
that
heart
you'd
you would get bored.
bored.
Look what we do with time now. We watch everything on YouTube. Everything.
Dad! 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 Give me Dad! Dad! Give me Dad! Give me Dad! 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 I took my piranha, antagonized it, and smeared its shit around where I knew you would see. I meditated, but kept getting distracted about how wonderful it was to be me. 'Cause I have found the way out. I have found the way out. I have come to shake hands and make fools of the fools. Everything you've heard, my dear, is true. True. Death is the only thing that keeps this interesting. Why in hell on earth would you want more? Death is the only thing that keeps this interesting. You know in your heart that you get bored. So give me Dad. Thanks for sticking around and listening, everybody.